Yes, codes govern the protection of coaxial cable on building exteriors. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, in Article 820.53 bones states that coaxial cable routed outdoors must be listed for outdoor use or specifically approved for such use. Article 820.53b2 mandates that outdoor coaxial cable be supported and protected against physical damage. According to Article 820.53b3, coaxial cable must be installed at least 2 inches above the ground or other surfaces. The International Building Code, or IBC, in Chapter 16 focusing on fire and smoke protection systems addresses this as well. Section 1606.4 dictates that wiring for fire alarm and communication systems must be protected from physical damage. Section 1607.11 specifies that cables and wires for all systems, including surveillance cameras, must be securely fastened in place and protected from physical damage. Furthermore, the American National Standards Institute, or ANSI, the Electronic Industries Alliance, or IA, and the Telecommunications Industry Association, or TIRE, Standard 568C2-1 provides specific guidelines for installing coaxial cable outdoors. Also, local building codes and ordinances may have additional requirements or restrictions not covered by the NEC or IBC. Several protection methods can be employed. Firstly, conduit encloses and protects the coaxial cable from damage. Secondly, armored cable has a metal sheath that provides protection against physical damage. Thirdly, UV-resistant cable resists degradation caused by sunlight. Fourthly, cable tray support and organize multiple cables, providing protection from physical damage. Fifthly, cable clamps securely fasten the cable to surfaces, preventing movement and damage. Compliance with these codes is essential to ensure the proper protection of coaxial cable and the reliable performance of surveillance cameras. The NEC provides comprehensive guidelines for coaxial cable installations. Article 820 covers community antenna television and radio distribution systems. It's crucial to understand specific sections within Article 820 to ensure compliance. Regarding grounding, the NEC requires coaxial cables to be grounded properly to prevent electrical hazards and ensure signal integrity. Consult Article 820.93 for grounding requirements. For bonding, coaxial cable shields must be bonded to the building's grounding system to minimize voltage differences and prevent equipment damage. See Article 820.100 for bonding details. When dealing with separation from power conductors, coaxial cable should be separated from power conductors to prevent interference and potential hazards. Refer to Article 820.133 for separation requirements. For cable entries into buildings, ensure that cable entries into buildings are properly sealed to prevent water and pest intrusion. Use appropriate entry fittings and sealants. In terms of support and securing, coaxial cables must be properly supported and secured to prevent sagging and physical damage. Use appropriate cable supports and fasteners. As for cable identification, clearly label coaxial cables to facilitate maintenance and troubleshooting. Use cable markers or tags with appropriate identification information. When using surge protection, consider installing surge protection devices to protect equipment from voltage surges caused by lightning or other electrical disturbances. Regarding inspection and testing, regularly inspect and test coaxial cable installations to ensure they meet code requirements and are functioning properly. Document all inspections and tests. In addition to the NEC, the IBC addresses fire safety and general building requirements that may impact coaxial cable installations. Ensure compliance with relevant sections of the IBC, particularly those related to fire-rated construction and building safety. Fire stopping is crucial when coaxial cables penetrate fire-rated walls or floors. Use approved fire stop materials to maintain the fire resistance of the assembly. In regards to cable management, organize and manage coaxial cables to prevent clutter and ensure easy access for maintenance. Use cable trays, conduits, or other cable management systems. Consider environmental factors when installing coaxial cables outdoors. Use UV-resistant cables and hardware to withstand sunlight exposure. Protect cables from moisture and extreme temperatures. Consult manufacturer specifications for environmental ratings. In areas prone to physical damage, such as vehicular traffic or vandalism, provide additional protection for coaxial cables. Use conduit, bollards, or other protective measures. Regularly inspect coaxial cable installations for signs of damage or deterioration. Repair or replace damaged cables promptly to prevent signal degradation or safety hazards. Keep accurate records of coaxial cable installations, including cable routes, connections, and test results. This information will be valuable for future maintenance and troubleshooting. The Telecommunications Industry Association, or TIA, and the Electronic Industries Alliance, or IA, standards provide additional guidance on coaxial cable installation practices. Consider consulting TIA/EIA standards for best practices and industry recommendations. Local building codes may have specific requirements for coaxial cable installations. Check with local authorities to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. If you are not familiar with electrical codes and installation practices, consider hiring a qualified electrician or telecommunications installer to perform the work. Ensure that all work is performed in accordance with applicable codes and regulations. Obtain necessary permits and inspections for coaxial cable installations as required by local authorities. Comply with all permit requirements and inspection procedures. Proper planning is essential for successful coaxial cable installations. Plan cable routes, select appropriate materials, and consider future expansion needs. Careful planning can help prevent problems and ensure long-term reliability. When working with coaxial cables, always follow safety precautions to prevent electrical shock and other hazards. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, and follow safe work practices. Document all aspects of the coaxial cable installation process, including cable types, connections, test results, and any deviations from standard practices. This documentation will be valuable for future reference and troubleshooting. Regularly review and update coaxial cable installation practices to keep up with changes in technology and code requirements. Stay informed about industry trends and best practices. Proper cable grounding is critical for safety and performance. Ground the shield of the coaxial cable at both ends to minimize noise and prevent ground loops. Use appropriate grounding hardware and techniques. When connecting coaxial cables to equipment, ensure that connectors are properly installed and tightened. Loose or corroded connectors can cause signal degradation and equipment malfunction. Use high-quality connectors and tools to ensure reliable connections. Label each coaxial cable connection with a unique identifier to facilitate troubleshooting and maintenance. Use cable markers or tags that are durable and easy to read. Test the continuity and signal quality of each coaxial cable after installation. Use a cable tester or multimeter to verify proper connections and signal integrity. Document the test results for future reference. When routing coaxial cables through walls or ceilings, use cable bushings or grommets to protect the cable from damage. Avoid sharp bends or kinks that can degrade the signal. Follow manufacturer recommendations for cable bend radius. Secure coaxial cables to building structures using cable ties, clamps, or other fasteners. Avoid using staples or nails that can damage the cable. Ensure that cables are supported at regular intervals to prevent sagging. When installing coaxial cables near sources of electromagnetic interference or ME, use shielded cables to minimize signal degradation. Ground the shield of the cable at both ends to provide additional protection. Keep coaxial cables away from power lines, transformers, and other sources of electrical noise. When installing coaxial cables outdoors, protect them from sunlight, moisture, and extreme temperatures. Use UV-resistant cables and weatherproof connectors. Consider using conduit or other protective enclosures. Regularly inspect coaxial cable installations for signs of damage or deterioration. Replace damaged cables or connectors promptly. Keep coaxial cable connections clean and dry. Use a contact cleaner to remove dirt or corrosion from connectors. Tighten loose connectors to ensure proper signal transmission. When troubleshooting coaxial cable problems, start by checking the connections at both ends of the cable. Verify that the connectors are properly installed and tightened. Look for any signs of damage or corrosion. If the connections are good, use a cable tester or multimeter to check the continuity and signal quality of the cable. If the cable is damaged, replace it with a new one. When working with coaxial cables, always disconnect the power supply to prevent electrical shock. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as gloves and eye protection. Follow safe work practices. Coaxial cables used for surveillance cameras are typically 75 ohms impedance. Ensure that all components in the system, including cables, connectors, and splitters, are 75 ohms impedance to prevent signal reflections and loss. Use RG6 or RG11 coaxial cable for surveillance camera installations. RG6 cable is suitable for most applications, while RG11 cable is recommended for long cable runs or installations with high levels of interference. Use compression connectors for coaxial cable terminations. Compression connectors provide a more secure and reliable connection than crimp connectors. Use a compression tool to properly install the connectors. When installing coaxial cables for surveillance cameras, consider the lighting conditions in the area. Use cables with a low-loss dielectric to minimize signal degradation in low light conditions. Use shielded coaxial cables to minimize interference from nearby electrical equipment. Connect the shield of the coaxial cable to the ground terminal in the surveillance camera and the recording device. This will help to reduce noise and improve picture quality. Use a surge protector to protect the surveillance camera and recording device from voltage spikes caused by lightning or other electrical disturbances. Install the surge protector at the point where the coaxial cable enters the building. Test the surveillance camera system after installation to ensure that it is working properly. Check the picture quality, recording capabilities, and other functions of the system. Document the installation and testing of the surveillance camera system. Keep a record of the cable routes, connections, and test results. This information will be valuable for future maintenance and troubleshooting. Consider using a cable management system to organize and protect the coaxial cables for the surveillance camera system. Use cable trays, conduits, or other cable management devices to keep the cables neat and tidy. Avoid running coaxial cables near sources of heat or moisture. These conditions can damage the cables and degrade the signal. Inspect the coaxial cables regularly for signs of damage or wear. Replace any damaged cables promptly to prevent system failures. Keep the coaxial cable connections clean and dry. Use a contact cleaner to remove any dirt or corrosion from the connections. The Plano, Texas location is prone to extreme weather, especially heat, which can affect cables. Regularly inspect the cables due to weather and temperature changes. Always comply with local, state, and federal codes and requirements. Ensure that your work is always compliant. Protect against vandalism and possible damage due to weather.